Hey guys, welcome back to Manor Ranch. I have had an opportunity to sit down with Elaine Sprague, the owner of this brick house that we are buying. It is a awesome house. It's fantastic, and in this video, Mrs. Sprague is going to be explaining some of the history behind it. In this video there will be a couple questions I ask her, and it will tell us about some of the history in this house. So thanks for tuning in, and let's get started. Super excited. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Hey guys, well, this is Mrs. Sprague here. I want to introduce you to her. She's super nice, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about herself and her family. So, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was born 86 years ago in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Okay.
My mother waited 3 days for me to be born in the hospital. My dad was a mail carrier, rural mail carrier. He kept coming in every day to check on her at the hospital, and they said, well, nobody's been born yet. So, but finally, after 3 days, I was born. I came for lunch at 11:30. And I was just born in the hospital in the Sioux, but I lived in a stone house out at Fiber, which is about 6 miles from where I live right now. And I'm going to be moving back out to that area within the next few weeks. So we'll just see how that works out. So I've lived in this house for 56 years.
Wow, can't believe it.
So that's a long time. When I was a little girl, I went to a country school, a little brick school, and Miss Morrison was my teacher for a year or two, and then my mother was a teacher for 3 years. So it was kind of like homeschooling, but it wasn't exactly.
Yeah.
But that was nice. And then I went to Rudyard, to the high school there, junior high and high school. And I was always secretary of my class because I like to write things down. And let's see, I was in the band. I played the clarinet.
Oh yeah.
In the band, and I sang in the chorus. And I liked school. It was fun. We lived so far out in the country. I had a younger brother. We called him Butch. His name was Donner Jr. And so we didn't have any neighbors close by. So it was a lot of fun to go to school. I remember being sad the last day of school, thinking I won't see these kids all summer long because we'll be way out in the country. So then I graduated from there in 1954. And there were 40 kids in our class.
Wow.
And there are still about 15 of them still alive, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
They're 86, 87, 88, ages like that. So we've survived quite a lot of years. So that was interesting. I went to college at Wheaton College, which is down near Chicago.
Right.
And I was in the Glee Club there, and I majored in English. And we studied Bible. They taught us Old Testament and New Testament, and just, ordinary classroom. And I remember having a zoology class, and we had to cut up a frog. That was bad. And then after, my future husband was in the Navy, and he wrote letters to me, and we decided to get married in 1958. So before we got married, I thought, well, I want to teach English in Michigan. And I think maybe I should go to Michigan College to get finished up, so I could teach properly in Michigan. So I transferred to Western Michigan. That's at Kalamazoo.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I had to take a whole lot of hours. Normally you take about 16 or 18 hours, and I took 18 or 20 hours that last year. So that's a lot of studying.
Yeah.
And I took genetics, trees and shrubs, flowering plants, history of the Civil War, development of modern English. Oh, there's other stuff I can't remember anymore. It's a long time ago. And when I would be in class, I would get sleepy sometimes. And I'd be trying to take notes, and my notes would go down the page because I would be falling asleep. I've been notorious for that all my life, falling asleep in class or in church or places like that. It's kind of embarrassing. But anyway, I got my degree and I did student teaching right there at the college.
Right.
And we got married in 1958.
Now, what was your husband's name?
Nicholas Keith Sprague. His family all called him Keith, but he liked to be called Nick. He said people can remember Nick better than they can remember Keith. And he was going to teach gym, fifth grade and sixth grade. He liked to teach that age, and then of course he wanted to teach gym at some point too. He liked that, but mostly he taught elementary. And so we were down at Kalamazoo. We both taught at Richland for some years. And we had a little boy, Matt, born when we were down there.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to come back up north, maybe Traverse City or Petoskey or somewhere, but right then the base was getting ready to leave Rudyard. No, the base was still here. The Air Force Base at Kinchlow.
Oh yeah.
And so my husband, he got a job teaching at the base in the gym. He and another fellow taught sixth grade in the gym. They put up a big curtain across the middle, and here they each had a sixth grade class. Can you imagine the noise? Must have been awful. But anyway, that's what. And the thing was, I think we were earning, I don't know if I can remember this exactly, but we were earning about $3,000, he was, to teach down there. And when he came up here, they offered him an extra $50. So we moved up here from Richland on the strength of $50 more per year. Can you imagine?
No.
Oh gosh. But $50 meant more then than it does now.
Right.
So anyway, he taught there in the gym, and of course my little boy, Matt, I would substitute teach a little bit. I had taught English for a couple of years before that, but then I would substitute while he was little, and we'd take him to my aunt's house, and my aunt lived here in this house.
Okay.
And so we'd bring him here for her to babysit, Aunt Gertie, and he didn't like me to leave him alone all day. He wanted to be with me, But we'd bring him in the door, and my aunt had a great big doll about this tall.
Oh, wow.
And he would go up to that, it's a big stuffed doll. He'd go up to that doll and he'd punch it real hard, all over the face, and wherever he could beat it up. And then he felt better, so he could stand to be away from me for the day.
Right.
So that was pretty funny. So that was when he was about 2 years old, probably.